Thoughts of the Round Table. And welcome to the first edition of Thoughts of the Round Table.
Like blew out the entire just straight red. It probably sounds fine, so we're gonna keep it. But literally, like the first second, my speaker just blew out.
Let me start that again in a little quieter voice. Welcome to the first segment of Thoughts of the Round Table.
It's gonna be legendary.
With your co-hosts, Matt and Paul. We thought about doing nicknames, but I guess we're just gonna like...
My name is short enough to already be a nickname. So.
Like we were thinking like, oh, we could be like Captain Matt or like...
Captain
Prince
Matt.
Paul.
You just want to wear that captain's hat that you were telling me about.
What?
Sea captain's hat?
Honestly, any opportunity for me to wear any kind of funky hat, I'm in. Like a chef's hat or like
Right.
like a beret.
So what should we start off with?
Well, first on the agenda is today's Holy Grail.
Okay.
Cue intro music. Today's Holy Grail. So in this segment, we basically talk about things that we're thankful for, or like, because the Holy Grail technically is like the biggest thing ever, like in biblical medieval terms. It's like to find the Holy Grail. It's like everyone's goal is to get the Holy Grail. So my Holy Grail lately was, I'm just thankful for people who are in my life right now. I feel like I've actually like achieved like almost pure harmony with like family and friends and just like
it's a very hippie moment you're having.
I'm like Lollapalooza, except you gotta get that in there. I'm just very thankful for that because I was kind of in a funk last like the 2-3 weeks ago. Matt Without His Groove. What's that one movie where Whoopi Goldberg's a nun?
Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah, she's like a nun. Goldberg.
Whoopi Nullberg.
Nullberg?
Whoopi Nullberg.
Who's Nullberg?
And you said that, not me.
I said Whoopi Goldberg.
Anyway,
Whoopi's a nun and she's trying to get the choir to sing again.
Is this Star Trek?
No, this is like someone got their Stella got her groove back.
It wasn't Star Trek though.
It definitely wasn't.
She was the bartender.
She was?
Yeah, she was. She was the therapist bartender that would talk to everybody about their space problems.
Interesting. See,
I'm not even making this up.
I'm kind of geeky, but I'm not that geeky to like ever watch Star Trek. But
well, I am.
I was off my groove, and now I'm back on my groove. I'm feeling better than ever, and I think that just has to do with like the environment,
You know what? It's kind of a cop out. I know you're gonna say it's kind of a cop out, but it is. I feel like it's the weather. Last week was terrible. It was just cold and no sun. Now it's better. So now I feel like my life has changed.
I just want to sunbathe. I just want to be like a lizard and just sunbathe.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. Not quite yet.
Well, like not like right now. I like that's what I want to be doing. Like if
have you
weather
ever
permitted.
sunbathed?
Yeah.
I feel like I'd get too bored.
Well, like I mean, I have like a book to edit or like a podcast to like edit, and I'm just out there sunbathing and doing work.
This isn't sunbathing. It's just sitting out.
Why can't it be?
When you're taking a nap and you got cucumber on your face.
I think there can be different levels of sunbathing. Like you can have like a casual sunbathe. You can have like an intense sunbathe.
When are there levels to sunbathing?
I'm a sociologist.
Sunbathing.
I'm a sociologist. I feel like everything has levels. I studied sociology.
What is that? That doesn't mean anything.
Yes, it does. I love data. I love grouping things.
So how does sociology rate to different levels of sunbathing? I need you to explain that.
Well, maybe it's the creative sociologist in me, but okay, so like I can go outside right now and just like lay there, and then that's sunbathing. But I can go outside and like have like a project with like a glass of green tea lemonade, and like that could be sunbathing.
This
or like
is very suburban. Green tea lemonade.
First of all, I got it at Trader Joe's the other day, and I love it. I'm obsessed. But you know what I mean? Like, there's different levels to things.
He's just like looking all sad.
Oh, hello. Sorry, Paul's doggo is just trying to get some love right now.
Yeah.
Dogs like me because I think they know I'm a vegetarian, and they're not threatened. They don't think I'm gonna eat them.
You're gonna eat them? You're gonna eat a dog?
Well, like they know I'm not, because like they can like smell my breath and realize like the only thing I had today was like a gorgonzola salad and mango.
Wait, since when are you a vegetarian?
For 7 years.
I don't really.
Yes.
For 7 years.
Back in high school, where I was fat and ugly. I know right now it's hard to imagine that. We watched a movie called Forks Over Knives, and I kind of forget what like the movie talked about, but I remember being like socially curious enough to where I was like, I'm gonna try and be a vegan. So I was a vegan.
You went full gear there. You didn't even try to like, I'm just gonna cut out meat for a little bit. I'm just gonna be a vegan.
It was like an alcoholic trying to cut out alcohol.
Were you one of those people who like they wanted to eat GMO foods, but they didn't actually know what GMO even stood for? Like one of those people.
That's literally how I feel every time I go to town hall, and they're like on the board. They're like, "Oh, we are GMO free, and there's no blah 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 fats." And I'm like,
I love asking people what gluten is. Nobody knows.
What I mean, it's like part of bread.
It's a protein.
Is it a protein?
It's a protein.
I don't know.
That's about all I know.
I really don't.
But if you ask anybody, like, what's gluten? They just like, it's just not good for you.
I think South Park did a parody episode where like they talked about like gluten free, and like the one scientist actually ate gluten and like exploded from it, and the whole town was like, "Oh my gosh!"
That'd be like me if I was sunbathing.
You just explode out there.
I don't think I have the patience for sunbathing.
I think if you had like an activity to do while you sunbathe,
then you're not sunbathing.
But yeah, you're sunbathing with an activity.
I don't know.
It's a level of sunbathing.
I remember I used to have an apartment that looked over a pool, and there'd be a lot of people out there sunbathing, and I happen to have it sounds really creepy now that I'm explaining it this way. I'm not going to lie to you. But I could see them out my window, and there was this lady who used to always fall asleep sunbathing. And she would wake up literally looking like a lobster, just like a red rubber ball. And she'd walk away like arms just straight to her side because she was like just nuked.
Would she like waddle back into her apartment?
I don't think she even used sunscreen. She was basically just like microwaving herself. She did this all the time.
See, if you're in a sunbathe, you need to have the sunscreen. I think people think that sunscreen automatically like doesn't give you a tan, but like what it really does is actually prevents you from like getting cancer or like dying.
I saw this cool video where they put sunscreen on under a black light, and it was like smearing tar on your face. It was actually really awesome.
Oh my gosh.
But then that's how it worked. That's what it looked like under UV light.
Yeah.
Because that's what the sun is. It looked like they were just like smearing like tar over their face. It was actually pretty sweet.
Sounds like a good face mask. I gotta get on that. But so this next segment is Prima Nocta. Cue intro. Prima Nocta. So in this segment, Prima Nocta, we talk about bad dates, bad experiences, trying to find love. Of course, Paul over here is married, happily so.
Yeah, and I don't know if I ever had a really terrible dating experience, but I wasn't good at it. That's why I didn't really date anybody, and then I got married. So I kind of skipped the whole process. I'm going to tell you right now, though.
Yeah.
Like, because I know you're probably going to have some doozies. I'm so glad that I was out of the whole dating and all that scene before like Tinder popped up, Bumble popped up. Like, I'm so glad I never had to deal with that ever. I would have hated it. I don't want to do that stuff.
It's, honestly, it's one of those things where like you hate it, but then like you still use the apps and you're like, okay, this is normal.
That's the new normal.
This is the new normal, yeah.
In a way, though, it almost like you depend on that. Mm-hmm. And so then what do you do when you actually start dating somebody? Does it go on then?
I never got that far, Paul. That's a great question.
I know, but you said you had something to say, so go ahead.
Oh, yeah, so on today's issue of Prima Nocta, I went on about 3 dates in the last month, and on each
date... Is that average for you?
Lately I've been going on a lot more dates, because I'm just like at that point where I'm like, you know what, it can't get worse. Like,
what do you mean it can't get worse? What
like,
does that mean?
Like I usually go on like 1 date a month, and I'm like, ugh. I mean, now it's like just intend, like multiply it, and it's just like the outcome's the same. It's just like, ugh.
You're dividing by 0, basically.
Exactly. It's like whatever. So on the last 3 dates, each 3 of my dates pretty much ended at saying, you're awesome. I think you're so funny and passionate.
By the end, you mean literally at the end?
Like via text or like.
Okay.
Like, you're awesome, you're funny, you deserve the world, whatever. They go, but, I don't think we're going to work out, like, going forward to a second date. And I'm like, okay, this is a first date. Like, why can't there at least be, like, a second date? Like, I don't know. I always leave dates thinking, for the most part, like, hey, like, I'll do a second date. Like,
even
who cares?
Even if it's terrible? Even if it's absolutely
Well, if it's terrible, no. But I felt pretty confident the last 3 dates were fun. Oh, my God, your dog is sniffing my butt right now. Anyway.
She wants to date you now, too.
I know. Everyone wants to date me. I deserve the world, apparently. So they all basically came to the same conclusion. They said, you're too aggressive. You're very conflicting. You love debate. You're just like very like in people's faces.
What does this even mean? Go step by step. First of all, you're aggressive. Aggressive how?
I guess like with my opinions and the way I treat people and...
Badly? Or
I guess it's just aggressive. It's just like people want like.
That doesn't mean anything. That's like saying I don't like you because you're blue. It's like, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, like aggressive, I guess in the sense of like, and Paul could probably confirm or deny this if he wants to. I come off very tough. I'm very like in your face.
Tough is not the word I think of. I'll tell you that.
Well, not like tough, like I'm gonna beat you up, but like tough, like like strong on people. Like I'm getting stuff done around the house.
You're a housewife.
I feel like I'm trying to paint a picture, and clearly we're not on the same picture.
We're not painting the same.
We're not on the same picture. Well, anyway, like aggressive, like okay. So like when I'm on a date, someone will be like, "Oh yeah, I do this." I'm like, "Do you like it?" And I'll be like, "Well, no." I'm like, "Well, what do you want to do with your life?" And they're like, "Well, I'm like, "Well,
so you're basically just giving them 20 questions, and they don't like that."
I think people don't like that. Like sometimes, like I'm a low key Oprah. I want to interview. I want to know you. I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about how your favorite color is periwinkle. I want to know like where you're going and who you are. And that's how I treat my friends. And honestly, the closest friends I have like love that. We get along because we're always talking, deep conversation.
Right. Well, I think I think what it's getting at is people don't like their lives being pried into. And not saying you're doing that.
I probably
am. Like, well, not in a bad way. I mean, you just want to know deeper than, like you said, what your periwinkle. I don't know why that one came up, but you just want to know more than that, and that's not that big of a deal.
I think for some people it's aggressive.
People don't like that. People don't like, their Facebook data being stolen, and they don't.
Are you accusing me of stealing Facebook data on dates?
Everyone does it. Why not you?
Like, oops. Sorry, I didn't mean to, use your demographics for research.
I don't know. I guess that's what it could mean, but
I guess the thing is like that I felt on these last 3 dates, it's like, well, I could have gone into date one and just been like, oh, so you like dogs, that's great, and like, oh, you like parks, like that's great, but like instead
like parks. What dates are you going?
No, I'm saying I could have done that, but instead like I was trying to like get to a little bit more of the meat of who someone is.
Were you like showing intelligence? People don't like that either.
I'm very smart, Paul.
I know you are, which is fine.
People do, but honestly, people think that I'm just like all fun and games and like I'm some like Chuck E. Cheese. But like
you're throwing out adjectives that don't make sense at all.
No, like I'm like Chuck E. Cheese like externally, but internally I'm like the like Smithsonian.
I get okay.
You know what I mean? Like I think people might think that like they talk to me and I'm fun and funny and like cute and flirty and like but like they get to talk to me and they're like, oh my god, not only is he fun and funny, but he's also like a deep soul.
So this is all fun and games and everything, but I want to hear what is the absolute worst story you've ever had.
The worst date?
Absolute worst ever. There's got to be one that sticks out in your mind.
This one.
The absolute worst.
I honestly feel bad about this.
Pants or...
Yeah. Well, there's like honestly, Paul. There's like 40 worst dates I've been on, so we have one for each podcast. So I'll give you the worst date of all time.
Apparently, we only have 40 podcasts.
Yeah. On the 41st, I'll have to. By then, I'll probably have another like 10 terrible dates. But so I was talking to this person, talking to this guy, and you know what I hate, Paul? I really hate when people say, when are we gonna go on our first date? Like when they're like, when
you're talking.
Yeah, when you're talking and they're like, when are we doing our first date? When are we going on a date? And you're just like, why can't we just talk?
Well, how quickly does that come up?
Like, well, some people get so anal about like that. Oh, like we've talked for like 3 days. Like we need to go on a first date like tomorrow or like that weekend.
At least plan something. I guess.
Yeah, I'm a firm like I'm weird when it comes to time. Like I could talk to someone for a couple weeks and not feel like inclined to go on a first date.
Yeah.
Because I'm busy. I got my life to live, and I like talking to you. But like. It's whatever. I keep it very casual. I'm like Full House, just like casual.
Which one are you, Uncle Jesse?
Uncle Jesse. So
Rush Hour Renegades. Okay, never mind.
So I kind of felt like, based on like the way this was going, I was like, this isn't going to be a good first date. I think that there was some differences already, but I was like, you know what? Fine. Let's go to the coffee shop on Thursday, whatever. So I end up picking the guy up. He sits in the passenger seat of my car. And we're talking and we're driving to the coffee shop. And now, mind you, there's like a lot of traffic. So we're kind of like, it's taking forever to get to this coffee shop, But like, we're almost at the coffee shop when all of a sudden he says something like, yeah, I usually can tell in the first 20 minutes, like if I like a guy, if I don't like a guy. And I go, same. And then there was like this really awkward pause.
At the next,
wait. No, I'm not, it's not that bad. But there's this awkward pause. And I faked a phone call where I was like, oh my God. my roommates need me. Like, there's like some issue back at the house. Can we like reschedule? So I literally.
How'd you fake a phone call with him in the car?
Like, you ever faked a phone call?
No.
Where you're like, oh, like it's kind of like you've never.
You're in the car though. How do you do that with it's in the car? Like, it's not ringing.
It's just like oh, like I caught
It's
it
a
right.
black screen, like not making noise.
No, I trust me, Paul. I'm very good at like faking calls. Like
Fake one right now.
Okay. Well, no. Now you know I'm gonna fake one, so like there's no point. Oh wait, someone's calling me, Paul. 1 second.
But it's a black screen.
But like they didn't see the black screen.
It's neither here nor there. So anyway.
Yeah, anyway, long story. I circled the block and dropped him off at home. We didn't even get to the coffee shop.
You didn't even get to.
No, it was like clearly there was no
What
point.
did he say? Was he okay with that, or was he like whatever?
I think I couldn't tell. Okay, at the time, I thought he knew that like I was giving us a cop out. Like I thought he wasn't into me, I wasn't into him. So like, game over. You know, call it a day. You know, like wrap it up. But he texted me like a few days later, like, "Oh, when are we gonna reschedule?" And I was like, "Oh, oh."
Did you ever even respond to that?
I think I might have, but I don't even. I definitely wasn't gonna go on a second date.
Quickly before you dropped him off on a street corner, like
No, I dropped him off at home. I didn't just drop him off like in the middle of nowhere.
There you go. Here's
like,
E9.
get out of my car. Like, bye.
Like an Uber driver.
It was literally like, I'm not even kidding you. It was like, you know that game where like they pick up people in the taxi and like ask questions. It was like that, except there was no money, and at the end I was like,
He
no
got
date.
the question wrong, so you kicked him out of the car.
It's like clearly you're not worthy of my coffee shop date.
Thank God I've never really had any crazy dates, but I will say this: when my first date with Katie, we went to
Olive Garden.
No, we did not go to Olive Garden. We went to a baseball game.
Oh.
But then after that, we were going out to dinner, and we didn't know anywhere to go, like, because it was pretty late at this point. And so the only place open was like a
Denny's.
No, it was worse. Believe it or not, it could be worse. It was a
Steak and Shake.
Oh no.
Rallies. Sonic.
Stop saying things. It was Eaton Park.
Whoa!
Eaton Puke, as I like to say.
Okay,
In my defense, it was literally the only thing open by that point.
So who had diarrhea? Both of you?
Both of us. So that's how we bonded. And then we got married.
You guys went home
So
like, this was a great day.
In the end of the day, it worked out. So what are you going to do? I don't care.
Clearly, this podcast is not sponsored by Eaton Park and their Smiley cookies.
They got good cookies. I'm not going to lie to you.
So are you ready to do our next segment?
Sure. What's next?
It is called Entertaining the Nights. And on Entertaining the Nights, we take a BuzzFeed quiz.
Oh, this should be fun.
So today's BuzzFeed quiz is, what type of bread are you?
Literally the most stereotypical BuzzFeed feature in the world.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. If I could choose, I would be sourdough. I love sourdough.
I'd probably be that Italian bread with cheddar on it.
Oh, ciabatta?
I have no idea. I don't know these fancy words.
He's like, I just go to Eden Park, man. They have like white and wheat.
You know, it's funny. I thought when someone said this online, it's like, what type of bread are you? But this is actually a thing. Mm-hmm. And you pick it. Which '90s sitcom duo are you? And your wait, that's the next one. Oh,
That's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah, that's the first question.
Oh,
and you know what sucks is people who know me know I don't like the '90s. It's
Why
like
don't you like the '90s?
It's just I just don't like the '90s. It's not.
Were you raised in the '90s?
I was born in '94. I love the '80s. '80s is like so me, and then like.
So basically, a time you never saw.
I mean, I don't know. There's just something about like the '80s is cheesy, but like acceptable cheesy. The '90s is like cheesy to me, but it's not acceptable.
It was, but what I missed about the '90s the most is like. I basically miss not having responsibilities and playing video games in my backyard, like Game Boy and stuff. That's what I miss.
Love Game Boy.
Yes, that's the kind of stuff I miss. I don't really care too much about.
So I'm not sure which sitcom. I just picked the one that looked the funniest to me.
You don't know any of these?
No.
The first one is. Let's see if I can name them. That is. Oh my lord! I am having.
See, we're gonna be here for like another 30 minutes.
No. That is Boy Meets World.
Okay.
And then this one is Full House.
Full House.
This is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah. Family Matters.
Sister. That one. I don't know this one. I don't know that next one. It's Seinfeld.
Oh, I'll do Seinfeld. I actually know Seinfeld.
And then that's Family Matters over there. I don't know what this one in the middle is, though. Nickelodeon? Is that Nickelodeon, apparently?
No, I don't know.
I'm going to go with... you're going to go with Seinfeld?
Yeah.
I'll go with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay. What type of flour do you use most often?
Isn't there only one flour?
You know, I'm gonna put there are different types of flour. Question mark. Actually, you can put that. I'll put all-purpose because I feel like that's like who I am. I'm like,
right, yeah, all-purpose sounds good. I'm gonna put there are different types. I honestly didn't know that.
When you're thirsty, how do you quench your thirst? Ooh,
With water. Who quenches their thirst with coffee? What
honestly,
sick freak does that?
I almost picked that, but now that you called me a sick freak,
With my own saliva? Why is that an answer?
I'm gonna go with tea. I quench with tea.
My own saliva. This is the weirdest thing. All right,
Pick a pizza. Oh, I'm gonna go pineapple. I love good pineapple pizza.
I've never had it, but I'd try it.
good.
Let's see. What should I go with here? Francesca Ritchie. What the hell is that? What the hell is this BuzzFeed? Foodio? What? Okay, now we're just getting really weird. I'm just gonna go with. Just give me the pepperoni pizza right there. That's what I'm gonna do.
Which hand emoji best describe your abilities in the kitchen? Oh, definitely. I'm a firm believer of peace, as Paul can attest. I sign my emails off with peace, Matt. So I'm gonna go with peace.
I'm gonna do the thumbs up because I'll do the okay one. I'm pretty okay with it.
Which type of oil do you prefer? Lube is not on the list.
Butter is oil.
I'm gonna have to go with probably olive oil. That's probably the most. That's like what I use the most.
Rapeseed. What the hell is this? Ghee? Ghee?
I'm not sure.
What in God's name is that? I'm gonna go with I guess butter.
Yeah, you seem like a butter kind of guy.
Butter. Who's your favorite cooking show host?
Oh, this is tough. I like Bobby Flay, but I wouldn't say. I don't know.
Is Emerald still alive?
I think so.
Honestly, I don't know who most of these people are.
I'm gonna go with on the top left. Oh God, what's her name?
She looks southern.
No, she's Oh, what's her name? It's like Oh, I forget her name.
Well, that's interesting.
Well, clearly she's not my
I'll go
favorite.
with Emerald. Why not?
You know, I'll go with Bobby. I like Bobby. Oh, pick an herb. Marijuana's on here.
Why is that?
You know what? I'm gonna go classic cilantro on this
I'm
one.
gonna go with sage. I know somebody named Sage once.
Oh yeah, it's a good
So
name.
I'm gonna go with sage.
Which baking term best describes your personality? Aggressive.
A scorbic preheated. What is this?
I'm gonna go
Creamed.
creamed. I'm gonna go preheated. I think for me.
I think I'll go with punch down.
Punch down.
Pretty much describes my week so far.
And then pick a city in the U.S. to visit.
The thing is, it doesn't tell you what cities these are.
I know you kind of have to
like
figure
the one's
out.
New York.
That first one's New York.
There's D.C. This one has a palm tree in it. I like that. There's none with a cacti. Oh, wait.
I think this one. Oh, I don't know. I mean, you know what? This one looks pretty. I'm gonna go with this one. Oh, okay. I got Hawaiian roll.
I'm gonna go with this city.
So I am a Hawaiian roll. You're kind of sweet and totally fruity. Okay, fuck off, BuzzFeed. Dinner is where you make most of your attention, but you also make a great anytime snack. Well, thank you. Confirmed here first. Matt is a snack.
Mine I actually got my favorite type of bread ever.
Really?
Banana bread. I love banana bread.
Oh my gosh.
It says, talk about identity crisis. Thank you. Literally the first line. You're called a bread but tastes more like a cake. But hey, regardless of the confusion, people totally love you. Oh, I like that. That makes me feel good about myself.
Honestly, I think this quiz did a pretty good job.
I think so too. Let's do another one. Should we do another one?
Oh, which one should we do?
Okay, let's try. This should be some good. We'll just go to the general quizzes. Let me find one here.
Do you want to do everyone has a planet that matches their personality?
Describe your normal weekday and we'll guess how old you are.
You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that. Do you see that one?
What time do you usually wake up? Oh, 9 a.m. or later.
Hold on, mine's got to load here because I'm using not a fancy computer. Okay. What time do you wake up? I wake up at, it doesn't even literally, oh, there it is. 6:30 a.m. or late. I wake up every morning at 3:12 in the
Jesus Christ.
3:12 in the morning. So
That's when I get home.
it's the worst. So we'll go 6:30 a.m. What do you eat for breakfast?
I'm gonna.
Well, I don't like this question because I don't have anything during the week, but on the weekends I have like I can make my breakfast meals, like my meals.
I don't know. This question is kind of hard for me too because I don't really like to eat carbs like this. So I guess I'm gonna go with toast
I'm gonna go with pancakes because there's bacon in the picture too.
and eggs.
Yeah, I mean,
It's kind of biased. It's like pancakes, but like pictured with eggs and bacon and gravy.
Every when I do eat breakfast like a normal human being, I will do that. When does work or school start? I haven't been to school in ages.
I'm gonna say 9 a.m. or later for the most part.
Mine. It doesn't even literally list.
It doesn't literally graveyard.
I start at 4:30 in the morning, and so mine's not even literally listed on here.
I guess you could say.
Okay, the only one that applies is depends on the day.
Yeah, I mean that or 7 to 8.
I'm already halfway through my day at this point, so we'll go with depends on the day. What do you have for lunch?
So there's 3 pictures. One is like of a businesswoman eating an apple at a laptop, which is kind of like me.
It's just a hand. How do you know it's a woman?
I mean, it looks like a female. Like it looks like a female business suit. Yeah, it looks like a female business suit. You know.
Okay.
Then there's like a 40-pound bowl of antipasta. And then there's
a lot of. How's an antipasta? There's pasta right in it.
It's antipasta.
Okay, whatever. We'll just keep going.
No, that's like the legit. Like that's what it is. It's like a cold pasta, so it's like antipasta or pasto.
What's the last one? It's like
the last one's like a very wealthy suburban high school lunch.
That's what I was about to say. Like it looks like you have math tutoring after school, and then you have to.
And then your mom's gonna pick you up in her
and then you gotta walk home to your cul-de-sac afterwards, and then go to soccer practice.
No, not soccer, like rugby.
That's a lot of blueberries in that thing too. Is that hummus?
Hummus?
It looks like hummus.
No, that's a cookie. It's a cookie.
That is good.
I'm going with the lady with the apple and the laptop because like I'm always like working at lunch or
I'll go with the 45 pounds of antipasta.
I like.
What do you do in the afternoon? What's extracurricular activities? That needs to be defined for me too. Options are spend time with kids, family, extracurricular activities, hang out with friends, or I'm still at work.
I'm gonna say extracurricular activities because like that's usually when I work out or like.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
And then what time do you go to bed? I'm gonna say midnight or later.
My goal is like 9:30, so I'll say 10. It's close.
And then pick some pajamas. There's a unicorn onesie, a Victorian age nightgown.
This is the reason we should not be taking these. They're all like gowns.
A plaid. I think you're the plaid.
I have those. I have those in blue. I have plaid pajamas in blue, matching ones.
I think I'm the Victoria aged onesie.
Okay, the Victorian age. That's like you need like a wine sniff, like a wine sniffer. I can look at his slippers even in the corner.
Okay, so BuzzFeed guessed.
First of all, don't say how old you are. Say what a guess, and then you reveal your age.
Yeah, so BuzzFeed said I'm 28 to 40.
28 to 40.
Which is honestly like that's like one of like a psychic's like, I think someone in your family has passed away. Like, it's a very broad.
Someone in your family has the name with the letter B in it.
Someone in your family ate cereal in the last 2 years. Like, so 28 to 40, well, it's like, considering that's like 12 years that they've guessed, it's decently close. I'm 23, so.
Yeah, well, they weren't even in the age range they gave you. Like,
I mean, they literally were like, they literally picked like a huge range and missed it. But
mine is, so you're 23. And
yeah.
So mine is 19 to 27.
Okay.
19 to 27, and I am 27. So I am
on the cusp.
Right on the cusp.
On the cusp.
And I turned 28 in about 6 months.
What's kind of crazy to me is it says 28 to 40, but like by the answers I gave, you would have thought like, because it's like, oh, I'm going to bed very late and I'm waking up like.
What 27-year-old gets up at 4 in the morning? Like what kind of? Unless it's looking through my webcam and looking at me. Right now.
Your FBI agent right now is like.
No, I'm gonna text him, see what's up. All right, let's get into one last thing here.
Okay, should we handling the plague?
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, so handling the plague. On this segment, we talk about things that are really tough that we have to do. What?
Intro music.
Intro. Cue intro.
Okay.
Okay, Paul, take it away.
You should say that. I don't want. We'll edit this part out, but say it again because I stepped on your toes. I want you.
Oh no, I like that you stepped on my toes. Because I'm aggressive like that.
Anyways, all right.
Paul's like, okay.
Okay. So do you want me to start this?
Yeah, go for it. Shoot.
Okay. So I don't know if you do this. We live about. Well, I currently are about 15 minutes from a very downtown Cleveland. I'll say Cleveland. About 15 minutes from Cleveland. And Cleveland's it's a big city, but it's not a big city, if that makes sense. It's just relatively normal. And I don't know if you do this, but I do this. I literally, if I'm ever asked to go downtown to do basically anything, I will center my day or the entire trip like, is there a basketball game going on? Is there a Indians game going on? Anything at all, because the one thing I absolutely cannot stand and cannot deal with is one, traffic, and two, trying to find parking. I don't know who in modern culture designed these major cities and then put no parking anywhere, and that drives me nuts. I know it's the most petty thing. I know there's people who complain about like legitimate things. I'm complaining about parking. Like I get that, but it still just drives me absolutely bonkers.
You know, it's one of those things where you're like, yay, people like recognize that Cleveland's awesome and like things are happening in Cleveland, but then you're like, oh wait, that means like people are like driving downtown
and the parking is like $90 sometimes. Like, it's absolutely insane.
You know, honestly, unlike you, I'm not as like OCD about like looking ahead to like, oh, like where can I park? I just have really good luck most of the time.
Why? What do you mean you have good luck?
Like I'll come downtown and they'll be like, oh, there's a Cavs game and a Monsters game and, you know, President's in town and and like, you know, there's like a festival and like gay pride's happening and I'll still get like
there's a lot going on downtown this weekend.
Well, it's Cleveland, baby. Everything's happening in Cleveland. It's like cue intro music for like the Cleveland like advertisement, like Cleveland, everything's happening.
River catches on fire. 5 times? No, I think it was like 13 times. But anyways.
Yeah. I mean, a few times for sure. But no, I have good luck. But like, I totally understand what you mean. It can be like a pain to like circle and circle and circle.
The one thing I really have a problem with is, and that's why I love living in the burbs. I really do. And I get the people who like, I know people who live downtown. They said, I won't live anywhere else but downtown. Like, I get that. And I get that, like, that thought process, but at the same time I just don't want to do it. Plus I don't want to carry groceries like down the block, like 7 blocks away from, you know, a grocery store just to like get them up into my apartment. I'm not about that. Plus you can't buy a house. I love having a house.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There's something kind of peaceful about the suburbs, where you can just kind of like, oh, like there's free parking, and if I want to do something, like there's free parking. Versus like if you go downtown, you're like, oh, parking, and like having to like kind of like distance yourself, you know.
Plus, there's a lot of weird people downtown. We can say that now. There's a lot of interesting people downtown.
Yeah, like yesterday I was a homeless person came up to me and gave me a ticket for a concert, House of Blues, and then proceeded to tell me that he was like, yeah, I'm homeless, and if you have any money, and I was like, I don't have any hard cash. He's like, well, we can walk to an ATM together, and I was like, do you want your ticket back? Like, he's like, no, keep the ticket. Like, you know, pass on, you know, good vibes to people. I'm like, okay.
The first time, and I know it's weird. I just said how old I was, but I am not the kind of guy who loves going downtown and doing downtown like clubs and stuff. And I think I was forever turned off by it when I went down to one of the biggest streets downtown was West 6th.
Oh gosh.
And that's where like the nightclubs and stuff are.
Yeah.
And so I was down there, and it was one of the first times I ever really went down there and had like an experience with my friends. And so I wasn't having it because it was too loud, too noisy. I'm not really into that. I don't like crowds that much. Yeah. I know I sound antisocial. I'm really not. I just don't like that stuff. Like,
no, I agree.
So I'm leaving. I'm like, you know what? I'm cutting it. I'm headed home. So I'm walking down the street, and when I saw this, I realized that my life was on the right track because I was going home. It was like 11 something. I'd called it for the night. And I was totally sober. I think I had a beer, like if that. And so I'm walking down the street, and there's this lady. She's probably 45 years old, standing in the middle of the street, just screaming, "I'm peeing my pants! I'm peeing my pants!"
Oh my god!
Laughing at the same time as her friends are like cackling and like and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just glad that that's not my track.
You know,
I'm gonna go home and you know, I'm sorry this is going off on a really weird tangent, but I thought about this last night. And I don't know why I think about these things, but it happens. Like, what if, like, someone accused me of, like, a really crazy crime, but because I, like, stay home a lot, I don't have an alibi? This is the kind of stupid crap that I think about.
Well, they'd be able to track your phone.
That's true.
So they'd be like, oh, yeah, he was at home.
That's true. I'm sorry I went off on a weird tangent. I know.
No, I totally, I get what you mean.
That. I was like, wait a minute.
The peen thing reminded me when I was in college, we all went out and we were walking the sidewalk. It was like college parties.
Yeah.
And the one girl literally peed on the sidewalk. And I remember I was so like, what just happened? I sobered up. Like I literally was like I was like, oh, we're so drunk.
And I saw Jesus.
It was like in the Bible when like before Paul was Saul.
Yeah.
And then like Saul gets blinded by God's light and is like now Paul. That literally was like what happened to me. I literally was like watching this girl pee on the sidewalk and I went from like shots for everybody to like, and let's go home and like watch Netflix. Like it was so bad and I was just like, I was horrified. I was horrified.
Yes. I used to play in a band in Akron. We used to play a lot of clubs. Let me tell you, man, some of the things I've seen in clubs just from, because the things when we would play, you don't want to be hammered when you're playing. It's, you just don't want to do that because you lose concentration. So you can have a beer or two, but you don't want, like, at least me, like, I wanted to, like, stay focused. So we were sober, but everybody else wasn't. And we'd play till, like, 1, 2. Oh, wow. And so we could like watch the progression of people like get sloppier throughout the night, and you could like see the night just slowly like, and we could play by like 1 o'clock we could play whatever the hell we wanted. Yeah. And they did not give a crap.
You could be like, here's an original, and like people would be like, oh yeah,
like a beat for 3 minutes. They're like, that is amazing. Where'd you get that from? It's like I literally just played quarter notes for 4 minutes. So. That's all I got. I
think that's a great wrap up for episode 1 of Thoughts of the Roundtable. If you would like to reach out to Paul or I, feel free to join us on Twitter. You can find me at Reebstar, HRIBSTAR.
I am at the producer Paul. It's pretty easy to spell.
That really, I kind of want a little bit more cadence, so we'll work on that next time.
Okay.
Or reach out to us if you're friends with us. You can obviously text us and tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, what was a hit, what was a miss, and we will see you next time on Thoughts of the Roundtable.